Have you ever forgotten the name of someone close, even though they just called you yesterday? Put your keys down, then stood there for 10 minutes trying to remember where, or worse, started telling a story and suddenly couldn't remember what you were going to say next. If you nodded yes to any of those, don't worry. That's not a sign of losing your mind. It's simply your brain's gentle way of saying, hey, I need a little care. I'm Dr. Patel, and today I'd like to share something close to my heart. 5. Early signs of memory decline after age 60, and how you can start turning things around today. Number 1. Forgetting names or simple words. Let me begin with a small but eye-opening question. When was the last time you called someone by the wrong name? Was it your granddaughter's name? Or maybe your neighbor who stops by every week? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. According to the National Institute on Aging, nearly 65% of Americans over 60 regularly struggle with remembering names or finding the right word. But why does this happen? Think of your brain like a giant file cabinet. After 60, the drawer labeled names and words doesn't open quite as smoothly. The part of the brain responsible for this, called the temporal lobe, begins to slow down with age. That's why we often have those awkward, quiet pauses like, you see your granddaughter and mean to say Emma, but out comes Sophie, the neighbor's dog. Or you're telling a story and suddenly say that thing, you know, that thingy instead of the remote or the water bottle. This doesn't mean you're getting dementia. It just means your brain needs a little warm-up, just like your muscles do. I remember one of my patients, Janet, 71 years old from Texas. She once told me with teary eyes, Doctor, I accidentally called my grandson by the wrong name, and my daughter thought I had Alzheimer's. I was just momentarily blank. So we started gently. We made a family name chart and taped it to her fridge. Each day she picked one person to remember and told a story about them. We added a simple vocabulary game map just 10 minutes before bedtime. 3 months later, she came back smiling and hugged me tight. Doctor, guess what? My grandson said, Grandma, how do you remember all my friends' names? And I told him, because Grandma's exercising her memory every day. Sweetie, if you're going through something similar, here are a few simple things you can start today. Speak slowly. The slower you talk, the more time your brain has to find the right word. There's no rush. Write down names of family members and recall a small memory tied to each one. Use free easy word games like word search or words with friends. They're fun, light, and brain-friendly. Before bed, close your eyes and remember the names of 3 people you saw today. Say them out loud like a memory prayer. Here's a little trick I often share. Make a memory tree. Draw a tree on paper with each branch being a family member. Write their name and one thing you love about them. Not only will this help you remember names, it also brings back warm feelings. And emotion is the best glue for memory. Growing older isn't the end, it's a new chapter. One where you can protect your memory, hold on to the love you've built, and stay sharp in your own beautiful way. And if you've experienced anything like what I just described, don't keep it to yourself. Share it in the comments below. I read every story, and I'll respond like an old friend who truly cares. Number 2, forgetting appointments. Even after writing them down, have you ever written down an appointment but still forgot about it? Maybe it was a follow-up with your doctor, or your granddaughter's birthday party, or even just a simple promise to call an old friend back, only to realize hours later when the moment had already passed. If this sounds familiar, please know you are not alone. According to a study from the National Institute on Aging, over 55% of Americans over 60 say they often forget appointments even when they write them down. So why does this happen? As we get older, the part of the brain that manages short-term memory, called the prefrontal cortex, starts to slow down a bit. That means we still write things down, but forget to check back. Or we remember, but at the wrong time. It's like your memory is out of sync, and that's perfectly normal. I remember a dear patient of mine, Mr. Charles, 72, from Arizona. One day he walked into my clinic with an embarrassed smile and said, Doc, I had an appointment with you last week. I did write it down, but I only remembered late that night. I'm starting to feel like I can't trust my memory anymore. I looked at him and smiled. Mr. Charles, it's not your memory that's failing. It's your reminder system. So we tried something new. We used the calendar app on his phone, setting two alerts, one 2 hours before and another 15 minutes before. We linked reminders to his daily habits. For example, he placed a sticky note on his bathroom mirror so when brushing his teeth, he'd see his appointments. We even color-coded his schedule, blue for doctor visits, red for social events, and yellow for house chores. A month later, Mr. Charles came back, holding a little color-coded notebook and smiling wide. Doctor, you won't believe it. I made it to my dentist last week on time, and I even remembered to bring my insurance card. If you've been missing appointments too, here are a few gentle tricks you can try. Use a digital calendar with alerts. Apps like Google Calendar or the Reminder app on iPhone are easy, and your grandkids or children can help set them up. Tie reminders to daily habits. For example, stick a note on your fridge which you open every morning, or set an alarm that rings during lunch, when you're usually sitting down anyway. Use colors or pictures in your notes. Your brain remembers visuals much more easily than plain words. And here's a helpful habit. Say it out loud as you write it. Hearing, seeing, and speaking the task helps your memory lock it in better. One little tip I personally use. Every morning while sipping coffee, I check my phone calendar. Just 30 seconds, but it saves me from a dozen. Oops, I forgot moments later. And if you're not into phones, that's okay. Get a large print paper calendar and hang it right near your dining table, somewhere you see every day. Our memory may sometimes take a little vacation, but with the right tools and daily habits, you can bring it gently back. And most importantly, be kind to yourself. You're doing your best, and your brain, it just needs a little structure, a little color, and a little love. Number 3, struggling to follow conversations. Today, I want to talk to you about something many of my older patients have quietly shared with me. Doctor, I was sitting and listening to my grandkids talk, and suddenly I had no idea what they were saying. Have you ever felt that way? They talk so fast. They jump from one topic to another. You try your best to follow nodding along, but deep down you've lost the thread by the second minute, so you just smile politely or go silent. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. According to the National Institutes of Health, nearly 48% of Americans over 60 say they struggle to follow long or fast-paced conversations, especially in noisy environments or when feeling mentally tired. Why does this happen? As we age, our processing speed, the brain's ability to handle multiple bits of information at once, naturally slows down. And without practice, our focus can start to drift more easily, which affects not just memory, but also our ability to connect with the people we love. Let me tell you about Miss Margaret, a sweet 67-year-old grandma who often looks after her grandchildren after school. One day she came into my office and said, Doctor, my grandson loves telling stories, but I just can't keep up. He talks and I lose track. It breaks my heart. I looked into her eyes, kind but full of guilt. She wanted nothing more than to feel connected to her grandchild again. And I said to her, Margaret, you don't need to remember every detail. What you need is to stay present. So we tried two simple tools, and I want to share them with you too. Shalom 1. Take short notes during the conversation. You don't need to write full sentences, just bullet points or keywords. New school, friend named Sarah, strict teacher. It helps your brain stay on track and even ask thoughtful questions later. On a phone call, keep a small notebook nearby. In person, you can even say with a smile, hold on, sweetie, let me jot that name down. Grandma's memory isn't as fast as yours. That doesn't make you weak. It makes you real and engaged. 2. Practice mindful breathing. Just 10 minutes a day. Did you know that just 10 minutes of light meditation every morning has been shown to boost focus and reduce distraction in older adults? This comes from a study by Harvard Medical School, so Margaret gave it a try. Each morning after brushing her teeth, she'd sit quietly, breathe deeply, and simply focus on her breath. No pressure, no judgment. 3 weeks later, she returned to my office with a big smile. I may not catch everything yet, but I feel more present now. And my grandson told me, Grandma, you're really listening today. My little tip for you: keep a notebook called the Listening Journal. Write down stories your kids or grandkids tell you. Jot down any unfamiliar words you want to ask about later. You'll be surprised. When you write things down, your brain recognizes this is important, and it holds on to the memory longer. Focus isn't something we lose forever. It's something we can rebuild gently one day at a time. You are not alone in this. You're not falling behind. You're simply learning new ways to stay connected to your family, to your world, and to the beauty of each moment. Number 4, losing interest in things you used to love. Have you ever found yourself no longer excited about the things you once loved? You used to love gardening, but now the plants sit untouched. You once enjoyed reading, sewing, playing music, and now it's always, maybe tomorrow. And that feeling, it's not laziness, it's more like emptiness. According to the National Institute on Aging, over 35% of Americans over 60 report losing interest in their favorite hobbies. And many believe it's just a normal part of aging. But the truth is, it may actually be a sign of declining dopamine, a brain chemical that helps you feel joy, motivation, and yes, even remember better. Dopamine isn't just about feeling good, it's essential for forming new memories. When dopamine levels drop, you might feel mentally foggy, less focused, disconnected from things you used to love. Let me tell you about one of my dear patients, Ms. Shirley, 70 years old, a retired art teacher who used to love painting. She came to my office one day and said, Dr. Patel, I don't feel like painting anymore. I look at a blank canvas and nothing comes to mind. I just feel tired, dull, and lost. But instead of writing a prescription, I asked her, Miss Shirley, would you try something new this week? Just one small thing you've never cooked before. She looked surprised, but she said yes. She picked a dish her grandson loved, Italian-style roasted chicken. She searched for the recipe, bought the ingredients, cooked it, and when her grandson smiled and said, yum, she laughed. And soon after, she picked up her paintbrush again. If you feel like you're slowly drifting away from what used to bring you joy, here are 2 simple ways to help reignite that spark. 1, join a local group or activity. Sign up for a gentle yoga class, a community cooking group, or a library book club. You don't have to be the best. Just be around people you can laugh and share stories with. Social connection naturally boosts dopamine and brings joy back from within. 2, try one small challenge each week. You don't need a big change, just something small. Try a new recipe, plant a new flower, learn 3 Spanish words, or write down a memory from your childhood. The brain is curious by nature. Give it something new, and dopamine will start flowing again. My little tip: every morning write down one tiny thing you want to try today. No pressure, just something simple like, today I want to listen to a song from my youth. Today I'll make a soup using whatever's in the fridge. Write it down, then do it. You'll be amazed how tiny joys can become the biggest key to memory and emotional health. If you've ever felt like you're not yourself anymore, please know this: you are not broken, you are not weak. You may just need a little curiosity, a gentle shift, and someone to walk with you on the path back to joy. And I'll be right here each step of the way. Number 5, repeating the same story again and again. If you're over 60, chances are you've heard this before. Dad, you already told that story. Mom, you've said that a few times today. And maybe in that moment, you felt a bit surprised. Because yes, you really had shared that story. Maybe twice, maybe more, and didn't even realize it. But let me tell you something important. According to the National Institute on Aging, around 45% of adults over 65 repeat information without realizing they've said it before. And no, this doesn't always mean dementia. Often it's simply a slowdown in short-term memory. Your brain hasn't tagged that memory yet, so it brings it up again like it's brand new. In fact, repeating stories might be your brain's way of trying to hold on to something important. Let me share a story. One of my longtime patients, Mr. Lewis, is 74. Every time he visits my clinic, He tells me the same beautiful story about the first time he drove his wife to see fireworks. His kids used to get impatient. Dad, you already told us that. Don't you remember? But I told them something that changed the way they saw it. That memory in them might be the clearest piece of himself he still holds on to. We tried something different. I asked Mr. Lewis to write down one memory each day, just a short story from his youth. And if he preferred to record it on his phone, to tell it to himself like a keepsake. 1 month later, he smiled and said, "Doctor, I still repeat myself, but now I know when I've told it, and it feels good to know the story's still alive inside me." So if you or someone you love repeats a story often, don't be alarmed. Instead, see it as a gentle sign, the brain asking to mark that memory more clearly. Here are two simple ways to help. 1. Keep a daily memory journal. Each morning, write down one thing you want to remember or share that day. A childhood story, a nice conversation, something that moved you. Writing helps move memories from short-term to long-term, so you repeat them less often. 2. Record your favorite stories. Use your phone to record a story you often tell. Play it back when you have a quiet moment. This acts like a memory anchor. You'll be surprised. Not only does this help memory, but these recordings can become precious gifts for your children and grandchildren. My personal tip, pick a time each day, like before bed, to write one line from my memory. Just a single sentence. Every night. Over time, those lines become the bricks that build a stronger memory foundation. Repeating yourself is not weakness. It's part of the aging journey. But when we recognize it with kindness and respond with simple practices, we can turn it into a strength, a way to preserve the things that matter most. Because memory doesn't vanish overnight. It simply whispers, "It's time to take care of me again." If you've ever experienced this, please feel free to share in the comments. I read each one and I'll reply as a true companion on this path with you. And if this video felt helpful, don't forget to hit subscribe. Each week I'll be here with you, sharing small, gentle ways to care for your memory, your health, and your joy in life. Thank you for spending this time with me. It means so much that we can walk this journey together one story at a time.